Black and Latino student loan borrowers say their student loan debt has soared over the years despite persistent payments over many years. On average, Black and Latino borrowers, you should know, graduate owing significantly more than their white counterparts, and we all know that that's true. The Center for Responsible Lending says nearly 75% of Black borrowers and 63% of Latino borrowers have seen their student balances grow, and that's compared to 51% of white borrowers who've seen their loan amount grow. So we know that that's not fair. We know that that's not working. Consumer financial services company Bankrate says Latino borrowers often owe nearly $38,000 post-graduation, and Black borrowers can graduate owing an average of $52,726. Oh my goodness, compared to white college graduates who owe closer to $28,000 on average. Why are white borrowers getting an advantage? It doesn't make sense. Democratic lawmakers are upset about it. They want President Biden to wipe out nearly $50,000 worth of debt for Black and Latino borrowers. Blacks and Latinos making up nearly 22 and 28% respectively of student loan debt. Folks, do you know what that means? That means 50% of student loan debt is Blacks and Latinos. Come on now, if we can't get these groups to the point where they are able to manage or get rid of that debt, the country cannot grow. There's just too many people. Canceling that student loan debt provides more than 70% of relief to these groups. Now, Black borrowers report that their student loan debt often feels like a life sentence. I know it does. And the seniors that owe student loan debt is an absolute disgrace. And that's because even if they get in income-driven plans, it doesn't matter because the amount still balloons over time. We all know that's true. If not, just ask the nearest African-American or Latino person who has student loan debt. They'll tell you it's no secret. Student debt cancellation would increase the net wealth of Black and Latino households and help reduce the racial wealth gap. President Biden must act. $10,000 is nothing. You get $10,000 in interest every year. Some people have been paying those student loan debts for 40 years, but the amount keeps going up. So President Biden must act. He must act at the highest possible level, which is $50,000 worth of debt. And if he doesn't, well, folks, we've got to do something about it because we must close the wealth gap. That is the future of the country depends on it. I'm Carol Angela Davis. Carol Angela Davis bringing you the news from all around the neighborhood and all around the world, and starting with your headlines, folks, the exposure of the real abortion lie. Also today, new help for veterans suffering from burn pit exposure. Then the seas are rising and the coast is sinking. They call that a double whammy. Plus the corals are dying. We're in trouble, people. Also today, a high-profile murder in the Dominican Republic, plus racism in the United Kingdom. Then from Tempe, Arizona, where a dog's life is worth more than a Black man's life. Also today, brain dead America. Then a Black woman becomes a first in NFL history. And finally today, Simone Biles is suing the FBI. Go get 'em, girl. Stay with me. All right, all the while the Republicans are getting rid of abortion and insisting that women have babies and pretending they care about children. Well, the truth is, of course, much more dubious, okay? Because get this. The truth is these Republicans are highly abusive towards women who they wish to control because they fear women. You're not going to believe this, more than 2.2 million women of childbearing age live in maternity care deserts. That's right, folks, a maternity care desert. Well, that's a place that has no hospital offering obstetric care, also no birth center, and no obstetric provider. So how are they going to have these babies if they're so important to have these babies? Okay. There are 1,095 U.S. counties that are like this, and additional 4.8 million women of childbearing age live in counties with limited access to maternity care. And 1 in 3 of those people live in an area that is a large metropolitan area or an urban setting. Do you hear the Republicans complaining about this? Do you hear them saying anything about the fact that all these babies are going to be born, but there's no maternity care? There's no way to deliver them. There's no way to do anything, and no one cares because it's not about the children. It's about controlling the women. We all know that, okay? Now, maternity care deserts, you should know, have a higher poverty rate and a lower median household income than counties with access to maternity care. So don't let the Republicans fool you, folks. This abortion thing has nothing at all to do with children. All right, that's why you can rape a woman and she still has to have the baby, and that is the ultimate in abuse and control of women. We're not fooled. All right, also today, there is promising news for veterans. Now more than 3.5 million veterans who were exposed to burn pits and other toxins while serving in the military. There is help for you. You're going to be eligible for health care and benefits. A burn pit, that's that open air trench where waste is burned. And you should know that pits were used to dispose of chemicals, paint, medical waste, human waste, munitions, and other potentially hazardous materials. They burned all day long. And of course, the veterans inhaled these fumes. The law adds 23 burn pit and toxic exposure related conditions to a list of ailments that are presumed to be service related. Also today, looking at climate, not only are the seas rising due to melting glaciers, but the mid-Atlantic coast is also sinking. Oh my goodness. There's a double whammy going on, and you should know the relative rise of sea level in the mid-Atlantic region of the country is about twice the global average. That's right, folks. Last year, a study from Rutgers University, it found the rate of 20th century sea level rise along the east coast of the United States was the highest in the past 2,000 years. Around the Chesapeake Bay and Cape Hatteras, North Carolina, you should know the sea level rising is close to 3 times the global average. Not good. Moving on and still looking at the climate, the Arctic is heating up at an extraordinary rate, up to 7 times faster than the global average. That heating is expected to trigger increases in extreme weather in North America, also in Europe and Asia. Now, this makes the North Bering Sea and its islands the fastest warming place known on Earth, folks. Seasoned observers describe the situation as simply shocking. That's how bad it is, and could signal a more abrupt climate breakdown. Now, sea ice reflects sunlight, okay, but when it is not there because it melts away, then that allows the darker ocean below to absorb more energy, which of course means it warms up faster, and it causes the ice to melt even faster. Rinse, repeat. You see the problem? It's very serious. The more ice is lost, the more heat accumulates, okay? Experts recommend immediate and deep cuts to carbon emissions and other greenhouse gases. We'll see if we do it. And finally, in climate, 94% of certain types of coral species are disappearing. That is the word from a study published in the journal Communications Biology. You should know that coral reefs are very important because they protect coastlines from storms and erosions. They're also a source of food and jobs for many people, over half, and medicine. Okay, and medicine. You should know that over 500 million people depend on reefs for food, income, and protection. The coral reef loss, well, it started in the year 2014, and now research say it is likely to become, quote, the most lethal disturbance ever recorded in the Caribbean, unquote. Not good. All right, also from the Caribbean, why did the childhood friend of the Dominican Republic's Minister of Environment and Natural Resources, Orlando Jorge, that's his name, why did his childhood friend allegedly fatally shoot him? Yeah, this is terrible. Apparently because the friend was denied environmental permits he was seeking on behalf of various companies. Minister Jorge was the son of a former president. Yes, he was. He was shot 6 times at his office. Yes. Authorities say the suspect took advantage of his ties with Jorge. Now, the suspect himself, he is the son of the former commander of the Dominican Republic's Air Force. Whew, that's a mess. All right, now let's look at racism. Of course, it's everywhere. Now from the United Kingdom, where there is now fortunately, they're thinking over there. There's now an anti-racism plan to tackle discrimination amongst police officers and staff. All right, and that's very important because it's the unfairness in the way that Black people are treated. They're going to boost their numbers of police officers and boost their numbers of staff. Right now, Black people are 9 times more likely to be stopped and searched than white people, and 5 times more likely to have force used upon them. That's a disgrace. Oof. But then we travel to Tempe, Arizona, where it actually gets worse. Police apparently went beyond the call of duty to rescue a drowning dog, but they wouldn't rescue a drowning Black man. That's Tempe, Arizona for you folks. And for that, Sean Bickings is dead. That's right, people. All right, Bickings was struggling to stay above water in the Tempe town lake when a nearby officer refused to save him. Now, you should know that Sean Bickings was 34 years old. And that is according to transcripts from the 3 cops who were on the scene. This is what they said happened. The transcripts also show one of the officers threatened Bickings' wife. She was reportedly in hysterics over the thought that her husband might die. All right, all 3 officers who responded have been placed on administrative leave. Of course, they're getting paid, while Bickings' drowning is investigated. Now, we know there's a problem there. Then how is America so brain dead that it would allow a Supreme Court judge to rule on insurrection cases when his wife apparently participated in the insurrection? It makes absolutely no sense. Clarence Thomas is the person we're talking about, Supreme Court Justice, and we know we have the wrong people running things. Ginny Thomas emailed, that's his wife, 29 Arizona lawmakers to urge them to reject President Biden's victory. That woman is freaking out of her skull. It's unbelievable. All right, let's quickly look at sports, where Mellody Hobson is going to become the first black female NFL owner with her Denver Broncos deal. She's currently the chairwoman of Starbucks and president of Ariel Investments. Now, Hobson becomes a part owner due to her stake in the Walton Penner ownership group. That's the group spearheading the Broncos deal. The price tag for the team is $4.65 billion. That is the largest sale for a North American sports franchise. Go, Mellody. And then finally, Simone Biles and over 90 gymnasts are suing the FBI for mishandling a sex abuse case at the hands of former team doctor Larry Nassar. You know, he's locked up now. Biles and over 90 other gymnasts say the feds turned a blind eye to sexual abuse by Nassar. They say that they are suing now, and they are suing now for over $1 billion. They believe investigators in the case should have acted sooner instead of conspiring with the United States Olympic and Paralympic Committee and USA Gymnastics to conceal the known abuse. Just so you know, as I said, Nassar's locked up. He's serving a 60-year sentence on child porn charges. Also, he has a 40 to 175-year prison sentence. That's a state sentence. In addition, and that's from Michigan. That, of course, is stemming from 7 counts of criminal sexual conduct. Those are your stories. That's your news. I'm Carol Angela Davis. Thanks for staying with me. We'll see you right after the break. And, of course, you know, we've got Ask Dr. K, the International Report, Crypto Convos, and, of course, Missing in the Slay Word. Stay with me. Carol Angela Davis here with your Slay Word of the Week. The word this week is perfunctory. I like that word. I'll spell it for you. P like Paul. E-R-F-U-N-C-T-O-R-Y, perfunctory. That word is an adjective. That means it describes that noun. Its origin is from the Latin in 1593, and the definition is routine, mechanical, or lacking in interest and enthusiasm. If we use that in a sentence, here we go. Donald Trump is so self-absorbed that he doesn't even have a perfunctory respect for the law. Well, we all know that's true. Okay, sentence number 2. Let's hope the January 6th committee continues its enthusiastic presentation of the evidence against Donald Trump and his coup attempt. A perfunctory presentation would belie the seriousness of the event. That's your Slay word, perfunctory. It means routine, mechanical, lacking in interest or enthusiasm. Use it and level up your vocab.
I'm Milton Smith, CEO and founder of Tetragram, a mobile app for cannabis consumers to keep track of the products they purchase, rate the effectiveness of that product, and then share those personal reviews with others. I'm here today at Marion Main Dispensary in Capitol Heights, Maryland, owned and operated by my homegirl, Hope Wiseman. Please download the Tetragram app today and take control of your personal journey with cannabis.
Where are you? In this segment, Missing, we look for missing African American girls, and we're looking for you. And with the community's help, we're going to find you. 27-year-old Raja McQueen was last seen in her vehicle at a Cleveland, Ohio gas station in June of 2021. She was reportedly in the passenger seat of her 2018 silver Nissan Sentra. Raja is the mother of 2 sons. Raja McQueen is 5'7" tall, weighs about 135 pounds, has black or dark brown hair and brown eyes. Her car's license plate number is JGH3953. That is the license plate number for her silver Nissan Sentra. That plate again, JGH3953. Crime Stoppers is offering a $5,000 reward. Call Cleveland Police at 216-623-5418. That number again, 216-623-5418, if you have any information about Raja McQueen's disappearance. Where are you? With the community's help, we are determined to find you. We are back with your international report with Dr. Inyang Ebon Harstrup. Ini, thank you so much for joining us. I'm very anxious to hear what's going on in the world.
Well, I have an interesting story, I think, today, and it concerns sexuality. As you know, we're in the middle of Pride Month, and we know the battle in the United States for gay rights has been one that's been severely fought. And so we're all very sort of taken by it. But I have news that in Saudi Arabia, the authorities have seized rainbow toys for, they say, promoting homosexuality. The toys that they have confiscated include hair clips, pop-sits, T-shirts, hats, and pencil cases. They're all pretty harmless, by the way. But the Ministry of Commerce went into shops in Riyadh and took all these toys because, as they said, they contradict the Islamic faith and public morals and promote homosexual colors targeting the younger generation. And this is not only the case that has happened in Saudi Arabia. In near neighboring Qatar, they announced that they confiscated all rainbow-colored toys and pop-sits from shops for bearing slogans that go against Islamic values. So you can imagine that you are looking at things that are seemingly harmless, and the authorities in Saudi Arabia see them as corruptive, and they stop them. And maybe, as our audience might know, that while Saudi Arabia has no laws regarding sexual orientation or gender identity, sexual relations outside of marriage, including homosexual sex, are absolutely prohibited. And so not only did they ban the toys, but the movies have been banned. So for example, the new Lightyear movie by Disney, which features a same-sex kiss, is not going to be shown in Saudi Arabia. So we still keep the battle on for human rights and for sexual rights world over. Thank you.
So interesting, Edie. Thank you so much for that report. And, you know, we know that at the end of the day, it's all about controlling women at the end of the day, because I'm sure with the laws in Saudi Arabia where they don't allow adultery, I'm sure that it's the women who are penalized and not the men, like in most of these countries. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, no, it is very, very unfortunate. And the punishments are so draconian: stoning, flogging. You know, it's
women are under siege all over the world. But thank you so much for that report. I'm Carol Angela Davis. Stay with us. You know, I've got to ask Dr. K. We'll be right back right after this. We're back at you with Crypto Convos, and we know crypto is a mess right now. So Lionel, the Builder Sap, is with us. Lionel, please give us some sort of explanation. How should we be looking at this? Because it's a mess.
Okay, yes, it is terrible right now. Everything is down. Bitcoin is at 21,000, which is the lowest it has been all year. Let's go ahead and look at the chart here. For the past 3 months, it's at 21,000 right now. The high in the past 3 months was 47. So that's really bad. But once again, I know I'm sounding like a broken record, but if you zoom out and over time, you'll see that we had this huge pump, and then it went down, then up and down again. And I would like to reiterate that the reason for it being down could be plenty of different things: the pandemic, inflation, the war overseas, the stock market crash, and people don't have a lot of confidence in markets right now. People are selling into fiat, maybe buying gold and silver and stuff like that. But I wanted to point out that this is where the rich make money. While everybody else is panicking, while everybody else is taking losses and in the red, this is where they buy. This is not financial advice, because it could go lower. We don't know how long this bear market is going to last, but it is definitely looking like a true bear market. And if you play your cards right, in the future, maybe 5 years down the line, maybe 10 years, we don't know. But what you do today could set you up nicely in the future. I know some people who, when the real estate market crashed last time, they sold and at a loss, where if they would have held until the next cycle, they would have been better off, which is very hard for us to do. Us retail investors, it's very hard for us to do, but this is something that to keep in mind.
That's what you got to do. That's the way it is, folks. Okay, you listen, you heard it from Lionel. You know, he's not giving you advice. He's just telling you what he's doing. But the bottom line is we know how the market goes. I'm Carol Angela Davis. Thank you so much. Lionel, the Builder, sat with us every week for our Crypto Convos. It's very difficult time for crypto, but he's going to help us understand it. Thank you, Lionel.
Thank you.
Carol Angela Davis, along with Ask Dr. K. She's here. As you know, we always close out the show with you in mind. Welcome, Dr. K.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Well, you know, I want to continue this, I call it hurricane season discussion or infection season, because everybody's making a big deal about monkeypox. But I want to be clear, monkeypox is not our problem. Bird flu is our problem. And I spoke about it before, which is really the overconsumption and overproduction of chickens. And of course, we don't need chicken for anything. We don't need the eggs. These are things that we eat that produce inflammation and inflammatory diseases. We don't need the protein. We don't need the lean meat. We don't need any of it. So the United States does not have GMO chickens, but it does have selective breeding. Now they're breeding chickens that can produce 250 eggs a year. People, chicken normally 60 years ago produces 25 eggs per year. But the chickens nowadays are bred to produce that many eggs. That doesn't sound normal to me. No. Also, chickens are bred to produce breast meat. The chicken needs antibiotics, it needs pain medicine, it needs all of that in order to make sure that we have enough chicken breasts, which are not healthy for us anyway. So we really have to move away for the sake of our body, the planet, diseases, everything. We have to move away from meat and dairy. And let's start with the chicken for obvious reasons. And let's develop a strategy. One less chicken wing, one smaller piece of chicken, any way that you can do it, but you have to move away from eating something that is not only good for you, it's not good for the chicken, and it's not good for the planet. So let's think about a way to do that.
And this bird flu, how do you get bird flu?
Well, right now, what they're doing is that when they see that bird flu has infected the chickens, they kill the chickens. Thousands of chickens get killed. But what's really in the future is that a type of bird flu will jump from the chicken to the human before the human realizes that the chicken has bird flu. And then the bird flu can spread in the humans. And this type of bird flu is coming. And so again, that's why I say some of the diseases that we hear about more commonly are actually not as big as a threat as the bird flu. That's a threat right now.
Absolutely.
So
Dr. K,
killing chickens, that'll work for a little while, but it's not going to work forever.
Thank you so much, Dr. K. Such important, timely information. Take heed, people. Take heed.
Yes.
I'm Carol Angela Davis. This is Ask Dr. K. We close the show out every week with you in mind. And so from all of us here at Impact News, we wish you a wonderful week, and we'll see you next week. Thanks again, Dr. K.
Thank you.